Hi HRC. So this is the video for the stretching workout. The idea behind it is first you would do the standard warm-up and then followed by this 30-minute stretching session. 60 exercises, 30 seconds give or take per exercise means 30 minutes. When you do 30 seconds per stretch, it's not going to improve your flexibility. This is all about maintaining your flexibility. We will do a different workout which targets improving your flexibility and making your flexibility further and taking it further. But this is more about relaxing and maintaining that range of motion that you currently have and staying athletic and limber. I do still suggest you use a printout or something like that rather than watch the video. The intent of the video isn't that you watch it while doing the workout. My magnetic personality would just be too distracting and you would be distracted by the video. I want you to be able to concentrate on doing the workout and doing each movement. I have a couple of mirrors set up. They help me and they kind of help coach me so I can check out my posture throughout and make sure I'm doing all the movements correctly. I find that very helpful. So use the video as a reference point and go through it that way, but don't be distracted. And that's all I have to say about that. So moving on to the workout. Throughout the entirety of this, I'll be talking a lot about range of motion, and I don't want you to snap into a position or try to throw something at a joint by moving too quickly. All of this is going to be very slow, very steady movements, and that goes for the entirety of the workout. We're going to start out with the neck, and that's especially important, not to snap into position, and make sure you move slowly. In this one in particular, you might even need to touch your head so that you can support it a little bit. How I like to start this one out is drawing my, shouldn't touch my face, I should touch the hat. I like to draw my chin down into my chest and then go through that full big motion. And you do that both directions. There you go, and make sure you're drawing the ears down into the shoulders and exaggerating that motion throughout. After you do the neck and shoulders, after you do the head, you want to do the shoulders. So big exaggerated motions, shoulders forward, big shoulder rolls, and then backwards, big shoulder rolls. Throughout those, you're drawing the shoulder up to the ears, you're squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back, and then you're collapsing the chest in throughout. And that's how you get that full range of motion. After that, you want to do the front crawl, and that's where we do the big straight arms, and we swim front crawl, and then back crawl. Again, big range here, throwing your hips into it, and throwing your whole body into swinging the arms around. After you do the back crawl, you move on to praying. So you guys should all remember this from your movement screen at the beginning of the year, where we put our hands flat together and then raise them up as high as we can, keeping our elbows together and keeping our hands together and trying to raise that up as high as we can. And that's the praying position. After that, we're going to draw our right arm across our chest, stretch out our arm, and then we'll do the same thing with the left arm. Draw it across our chest, hold that for the left arm. And then right arm behind the back, and same thing, left arm behind the back. We'll do one from the side, left arm behind the back. And then Now that we've gotten a lot of the arms done, we can move on to the wrists. So pressing the wrist down, pressing the wrist up, and then rotating it both directions. Doing the same thing with both wrists. Pressing down, pressing up, rotating it each direction, and then shaking it off a little bit. Last movement before we move on to a different set here is hugging our legs. And we're on our way down to hugging our legs. We're going to curl every single vertebrae we can, try and curl our hips and curl our shoulders. So our chin into our chest, hunch the shoulders, and then trying to hit every vertebra on the way down. It's okay to bend the knees a little bit. Heels hard into the ground. Hug your legs and hold that for a couple of big deep breaths. And after we do all those, we shake out the upper body a little bit, since we just targeted the arms, the shoulders, the head, the neck, and the back a little bit. And then we can move on now to a little bit more of our hamstrings. So first off, we're going to reach down, touch our toes, and try and bounce a little bit. All these bouncing motions that we're about to do them very softly and very controlled. You don't want to do a jagged, hard movement where you hurt yourself, okay? So reach down, touch your toes, heels hard into the ground, bending from the hips, and keeping our back nice and tall, nice and straight. We reach straight down, and we bounce a little bit. If you can't touch your toes, that's no big deal at all. But you do want to go through that full range of motion. Hold that for 30 seconds. Then the same movement, but now you hold it. So you reach down, try and let gravity draw you down. And that's the bouncing versus the hold position. And then you can do the exact same thing for the right leg and then the left leg. And you want to do a bounce and a hold for each one as well. What I like to do is go through the bouncing motions first and then the hold motion. So you can do it by just putting one leg forward, or if you're quite flexible, you put one leg up. I'm not quite flexible, so it's perfectly good for me. Right leg forward, and then to bounce in that position. Left leg forward, bounce in that position. Right leg forward, reach, hold, stretch out that hamstring. Left leg forward, reach, hold, stretch out that hamstring. After all of that, you should be starting to feel pretty good. My hamstrings are brutal, so I really need to concentrate on those hard, but I like doing all those stretches. It makes me feel, it makes me feel good. After we do all of those, we can now spread our legs quite wide apart. Some people are more comfortable than others going wider. It's not a huge issue. I like to go out fairly wide so that I'm stretching in a more unbalanced position, but it helps me and I enjoy that. So first of all, legs wide apart. You're going to reach forward and bounce. After that, right leg bounce, left leg bounce. So reach forward, bounce, very controlled, very soft. I'm not jarring my body forward. And then up, neutral position, right leg, bounce, up, neutral position, left leg, bounce. Holding each of those for 30 seconds. Then same thing, but now a hold. So down to the center, hold, try to let gravity draw you down. Back to the nice neutral position, right leg, hold, neutral position, left leg, hold. And going through that entire thing is going to start being pretty exhausting. So you want to come back up, shake out your legs a little bit, because that's some hard work that you've just done. legs apart. For these exercises, I'll move a little bit further back so you can see the whole thing. I like to really exaggerate how far apart my legs go. And what we're going to do is walk forward on my hands, keeping my feet where they are, and then walk backward. So I'm going to really reach forward and reach back. Okay, so hands down, and then just walk myself forward. Walk myself forward. I can actually just slide forward a little bit there, and then walk myself back and exaggerate, walk myself back there. And that's how you accomplish the hand walking forward.